Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a PhD update as well as somewhat of a life update, just about everything that's been going on with me for the past couple of months. So I first just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who has continued to support me, either by watching my videos, liking, subscribing, as well as by being channel members. So a huge thank you. I know that I have not been doing much in the realm of making it worthwhile to be a channel member in the past couple of months, and I am so grateful to everyone who has just been supporting for the sake of supporting me. So thank you hugely to everyone. I wanted to make a solemn promise that I will have at least one video a week for the month of March, and hopefully more than that. I already have a video completely filmed for Wednesday, so my next video will be coming up on Wednesday, so you don't have to wait a whole week for a video, or a whole 6 weeks, which I've been making wait. So thank you to everyone for your continued support. I really appreciate it, and let's get into this video. It's just been a really busy time for me, and that's really the reason that there hasn't been any videos. My PhD does always have to come first, and this is something that I can do when I have extra time. So December was somewhat of a better time for me in a way for creating videos, and I'm hoping that is something that is all fixed now and that we will be able to start making more regular content, because I definitely have been missing it. But first I wanted to do a PhD update just to tell you what's been going on with my PhD, and then later on in the video we will have more of a life update so you can know what's been going on for the past couple of months, because I know a lot of you are interested as to why I haven't been around. But for some of you, you'll just be interested in the PhD stuff, which is completely fine. There hasn't been a huge amount going on in terms of like PhD stuff aside from the PhD. I was asked to film a vox pop for the funding body who supports our research, which was exciting, and it was really nice to be sort of one of the people at least who were recognised, I guess, as part of our research group. And I think that does have something to do with the fact that now everyone in my university pretty much knows about my YouTube channel. So I know that's something that some of you have been wondering, if people are supportive or if, you know, it's a problem, or how did I tell my supervisors? And the truth is, well, I've said this before in a couple of live streams, but I had never mentioned it to any supervisors in my university, mainly because I didn't really know how people would react. Recently, my supervisor found out through one of their other students, so thank you very much for bringing everyone's attention to this. And then they also told the other supervisors involved in the sort of cohort, the research group that I'm part of. And everyone has been so supportive, really nice, which is great. It's because it is something that I always sort of worried about a little bit, like, not in a way I didn't because I know my supervisors, but at the same time it was always somewhat of a concern that I didn't know how anyone would react. But everyone has been really supportive. But part of what goes along with that, I think, is getting asked now to do extra things that, because I have this channel, it means I'm more open to perhaps presentation based things. So I got asked to do that vox pop. I also have to do a blog post for our research group sort of about the YouTube channel, so it should be something that allows me to now freely make videos. But I do feel it was a little bit off-putting in the beginning, because it's weird now filming videos knowing that people in my university might be watching, and I don't know. Then getting into the sort of main part of my PhD work, I think I mentioned in the last video a project that we've been working on, and we're still working on that same project. It sort of feels like it's been a bit of a slow burn, and I think that's because it's not necessarily as well set up as some of the work we did straight away in my PhD. We were able to get like a really good project started, which was very solid and had a clear method to go along with it. Whereas because the work we're doing now is a lot more exploratory, it means that it can just take a little bit longer to formulate things and get things up and running. And I think that can be a little bit demotivating. So I definitely feel like there has been a little bit of that going on. But the project that we're working on is really interesting. It's just that I feel like I'll enjoy it a bit more once it starts to really see something, and I feel like I'm starting to get there. We're working on looking into injuries for marathon runners based on data from trackers and things like that, and we're looking into sort of how training breaks could be potentially used as a proxy for injury. Obviously that's not perfect because people who take certain amounts of time off for holidays or just because they're busy, but when we look at sort of longer breaks, the sort of idea is that it's most likely going to be down to injury, because you wouldn't necessarily take a 2-week break in a 16-week plan leading up to a marathon and still be able to do said marathon. And I suppose part of the issue with that is that we don't know if these are injuries. We also don't know about particular runners who perhaps were training for a marathon who then didn't get to complete the marathon due to injury. So naturally that sort of excludes a lot of people. So then we're trying to see how training in the lead up to the training break could be potentially influential, and similarly how the training after a training break could be sort of again influential, and how these could then, maybe these patterns could be used to identify when a break is going to occur. So that's what we're working on at the moment. So I've been looking into a particular group of runners who are very consistent. The reason being that if we look at runners who are a bit more inconsistent, it means training breaks perhaps aren't as big of a deal. Whereas I'm looking at runners who consistently run around 4 sessions per week or 4 training days per week. So when it comes up to a 14-day break, that is a lot more significant. I've been looking into some of those runners and trying to see, can I establish some patterns? I'll include some little plots just so that you guys can see how it sort of looks. These are a bit messy. If anyone has a good suggestion for like an advanced data visualization course in Python, please hit me up, because I've seen a couple of courses, none of which are really advanced in the way that I think it's looking for plots that are really useful for displaying a lot of data, but then also being still clear. So I think the plots that I have here they show a lot in a sense, but they're not very clear, and I think I'd love to know a better way of doing this. And I often feel similarly, like when I'm trying to plot certain things, I can do the basic plots, but then if I want to do something specific, I always have to look up things. So I feel like if I could get a good sense of a good data visualization course in Python, that would be brilliant. So please let me know in the comments below. So you can see we have sort of some where we have a clear pattern of running consistently and consistently improving in terms of the total distance per week and trying to improve their 10k race time. And then all of a sudden there's this big break and then things get a bit messy. So I'm looking into things like this. We're trying to look at different ways to establish someone's training load in the week before a training break and seeing if there are any values for this that are going to be leading into potentially an injury or training break, I should say, to be more diplomatic. So that is what's been going on. I'm meeting my supervisors every week to discuss this project, and I'm hoping that in another couple of weeks there will be more of a clear sense of specific machine learning that can be used, and that we can then start to do more things that'll be more relevant to my PhD in a sense, because it is machine learning based. So we do need to have some elements of that there, and hopefully be able to get 1 or 2 things together for papers before the summer, because I will be starting on my internship. And that's pretty much what's been going on with my PhD. I've also been doing some demonstrator hours for a couple of courses, so that's also been keeping me busy. So getting into what else has been going on outside of my PhD. So pure PhD people will not necessarily be interested in this, but I did spend a good bit of time in Galway right after Christmas. So myself and my boyfriend went to my dad's house for about a month, and it was really nice because obviously with all of the restrictions with COVID, it hasn't been possible to spend time with my dad and my stepmom pretty much at all last year, and even my boyfriend, we really haven't been able to spend much time together last year because of like certain limitations, and so it was really nice to be able to spend some time together. And I suppose that was a big contributor to the lack of videos, because any sort of spare time I had was going to spend time with them. And it just felt like making videos in that time just wouldn't have been a good use of my time there. And then it was just a case of not really feeling motivated to film videos. And I'm going to have a video coming out next week, because I've already filmed it, all about what to do when you're feeling demotivated, because while it's not really relevant to my PhD, I think if anyone is feeling demotivated with their PhD, all of what I'm talking about in the video will be relevant. So I think that will be really interesting. So if you do want to see that, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when that video is out. But I definitely was just feeling demotivated with making the videos. But I think things are hopefully going to be back on track now. Usually I feel a good sense of motivation once I get the first video after a break up. So here's hoping that all goes well. The other thing, I suppose, the main contributor, I think, to my overall busyness has been that the drama school that I run as a secondary full-time job has been doing really, really well. In particular, I've taken on a lot of new adult students and I'm the person who teaches those. So it means that there naturally was a lot of more work for me in the past month. And it's great and I'm so happy about it. It definitely has been taking up a lot more time than usual. I guess that has been a huge reason why I haven't been able to make videos, and I know that, and I feel like now things are starting to calm down a bit more and I'm on to more of a regular schedule, which leaves time to work on videos as well. And to be honest, that's pretty much it. So it was spending that time with my family and my boyfriend in Galway, and then the time that has been going into the drama school as well. So that is pretty much it for my updates, and I do have some videos planned for the rest of this month, well, for this next month I should say. I do intend being consistent in March. I am putting that out into the universe that I will be consistent in March, because I do really want to make sure that this channel is something that continues to grow and that it continues to be something that's useful to all of you. But that being said, I just wanted to say thanks so much again to everybody who continued to support me throughout the last 2 months where I was not very active, and it really does mean so much to me. So I hope that I will not be letting you down whatsoever in the next couple of months, and that I'll be able to make as much content as your heart desires. I do have a lot of things planned, so be sure to stick around. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching for the past couple of months, and I will see you all in the next video.